And that's what I want people to know. I just really want people to look inward and hopefully police their feelings a little bit less.
Hi, Carmen.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fine and you?
I'm great. I'm great.
Great. Thank you so much for your time. A pleasure to talk to you. And first, I want to congratulate you. This is your director debut for a feature,
Yeah.
right? Yes. How was that for you? And then how was like the inspiration for your for the script?
Oh, I mean, it's this has been an amazing process. I feel so privileged to have the opportunity to direct a film. I'm so lucky that my first film got to be so personal. The inspiration was from my own experiences with anxiety, with policing my feelings. I wanted to explore what that felt like. And it also was inspired by real life events, by sting operations that have been happening in our culture even up to 2019. A lot of times people hear the plot of this movie and they're like, oh, it must be set in the 70s, but it's set in the 90s because these sting operations have been happening for a long time. And I know of one that just happened in 2019. So it's just been a really good experience to bring this story to the screen.
It's really cool. And to find the perfect actors to play, like to find Tom and Russell, and they're amazing on screen. How was like this process to find the perfect actors to play the main characters?
It was hard. I mean, casting it's an art, and it really deserves a lot of time. We didn't have a lot of time to cast. I think we had a few weeks. I I'm so lucky that we managed to have Tom and Russell on our film. Russell, I kind of subconsciously wrote it for him in a way when I saw a performance of his in Angels in America. Tom was I didn't know who he was, but we had been circling each other's lives since I started writing this film. Him and I lived on the same street in New York City and didn't even know. And it wasn't until like 5 or 6 years later that I actually got to meet him on a Zoom. And as soon as he popped up on the Zoom and I saw his eyes and I saw like the history in his eyes and the story that his eyes could tell, I knew I had been writing the role for him all along.
Wow, that's amazing. I like the
Mm,
behind the scenes, behind the scenes, like
no,
fact about it. About
yeah.
that's
It just
great.
feels like the universe was like looking out for us and like leading us in this direction. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like I need to talk about my Maria. She's amazing as well. When how what was about her like in her previous work that made you pick her to play the mom, and she's amazing. I love her.
We had a few people who I was seeing for the mom, and I watched their tapes. I watched like their clips of the other work that they've been in. I watched it with my mom. And I remember when Maria came up, my mom and I both felt like she had come from Syracuse, from where we're from. My mom was like, I feel like she is me. And I'm like, well, that's good because this role is kind of based on you, but my mom didn't read the script at the time. Maria just has such an incredible presence. It's so hard to describe, but when she walks onto set, it just feels like she's carrying this light with her, and she's so giving with it, and she's so gracious. And we were only together for a few days on this shoot, but she really made me a better director. She really taught me how to be a better director, just by getting to work with her. And she pops up everywhere. She was in Agatha All Along recently. She works so much, and I'm not surprised because she is just a joy to have on set. Yeah.
That's amazing. And what was like other challenges that you have on set as being like you like this is your first feature, like you have a
Yeah.
lot of like details, and I love the way that you added some images that maybe he was recalling, rethinking what he was just went through, or you know what I mean, or like
Yeah.
from the past. I love that. What was like your biggest challenges on this whole
I mean,
process?
the biggest challenge was getting it all done in 18 days. That was really challenging. I also think it was, I think it was a challenge because I wasn't totally sure how the high eight footage, kind of the vintage looking footage, I knew how I wanted it to be used, but I hadn't really tried it. And so it was a big leap of faith and it was just trusting the process. I think that was a hard part was like on day one, just like letting go of any anxieties and just being like, we're capturing the film that we're supposed to capture and being okay with that as a perfectionist was really hard. But I feel like I've by letting go of some of that control, it made it stronger, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that detail because you're like, oh my God, that's looks like us. Like when I close my eyes, trying to figure out, like to recall the moments that we
Yeah.
have. I think it's such a great touch to the movie. Love
Thank you.
that. Also, bringing the '90s look and feel.
Yeah.
I also like that. You see the outfits, you see the haircut and everything. What was like bringing that to the movie, to the set?
It was amazing. I mean, I love 90s fashion. And so to get to work with Caden O'Keefe, our costume designer, he was one of the first people I started working with. We really in through the costumes we wanted to tell a story. We wanted to show how every character, not just Lucas and Andrew, was covering something, like hiding their true selves. And there's just so many beautiful little details. Like like in Lucas's hood, there's flannel. Under Andrew's clothes, there's always red. It's like these peaks of these hints of who they really are, kind of coming through in the wardrobe. And I loved that. But I also just loved going back and watching movies from the 90s to get inspiration. Like I watched, trying to think of movies that not even like related to this film, but just movies that I got to revisit. Like Selena was like a huge movie in my childhood. Romeo and Juliet, which wasn't really set in the night. Well, I guess Romeo and Juliet was set in the
Yeah.
90s. Baz Luhrmann's version. I watched that for inspiration. It was nice to go back to watch those movies and get inspired. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the details because I also I wasn't I grew up like in the 80s, 90s, and so I remember it's really vivid in my mind, like especially the malls, when you go to the malls and then everybody was like meeting over there.
Yeah.
Right? So it's I love that touch. So, and what do you want people to not to learn, what people can expect of the movie when they watch it?
I mean, I definitely want to take people on a ride. I want it to feel, I really want to take people into the mind of someone with anxiety, but I want people to know that uh, it's a hope, it ends on a hopeful note. In many senses, it's a happy ending. You don't really get that with a lot of queer stories. And it was really important that no one died at the end of my movie and that it ends on a hopeful note. And that's what I want people to know. I just really want people to look inward and hopefully police their feelings a little bit less. That's like what I hope they take away.
That's great. Carmen, this is the time that I have with you. I just want to thank you so much for your time. A pleasure to meet you. I hope we can bring more amazing movies, like very touching and sensitive, beautiful ones for
Thank,
us. And thank you so much for your time.
thank you. It's
Thank
good
you. If you like to support or continue to support Jana on Camera, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share the videos.